I would definitely call drifting my art because the car is my paintbrush, the track is my canvas, and I am the artist. He's first.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, you're so much better at it. You're fluid.
So, what drifting is, to me, I don't know. It's like a release. I find the adrenaline. I just love the adrenaline rush, getting from throwing a car sideways as fast as I can, and controlling it. And any frustrations that I build up over time, I can just let it all out, just abuse the car. Obviously, I have to fix it, which makes more frustrations. So it's a real vicious cycle.
As a community, the drift scene, we all kind of band together. We all kind of know each other. We all hang out with each other. We have fun together. We organize the track before we go to the track. We discuss different entry styles and all that other stuff. And then when it finally comes to the day, when you get to the track, you're there having fun with friends.
People call us crazy for going at a wall at 100 kilometers an hour and then breaking the car sideways. It'd be almost like ballet with a car, I find, or figure skating with a car. It's elegant sometimes, yet can be so intense on other times. And you come around the corner and just graze the wall, and you see all the people like jumping back, and that feeling is just so fun. You just sit there and be like, yeah, I made the move, and it's.
We know that drifting is an addiction. We know that. We gave up our beautiful cars to smash them, basically. Alcoholics Anonymous is actually what we did Drifters Anonymous based on, because Alcoholics Anonymous, you go there to cure your addiction, right? Well, Drifters Anonymous is like our cure. We go out here, we shred our tires, and we get it out of us, and then we don't have to go to the streets and do anything dumb, right? So basically, this is our therapy. So that's where Drifters Anonymous came from.
Smoke Speak Angle, or the actual emblem. I saw this Alcoholics Anonymous, and their symbol is a triangle, and I don't remember what their words are, but it's like recovery, abstinence, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are 3 things that we like to do with drifting? We like to go fast, we like to get angle, we like smoke. So that's kind of.
Miguel's, he's the founder of DA. Like, if it wasn't for him and having the skid pad and me meeting him through Jordan and just being out with the Quinny Street Scene guys, going to Burger King meets and stuff like that, there wouldn't be a drift scene in the Quinny region. He's pretty much the heart and soul that started it, and then it just grew into a family.
We're definitely getting recognition. We're definitely helping get the sport noticed within the Belleville, Quinny area. We're definitely like the drifters, you know. They know who we are, right? We're the Hoonigans of Belleville.
So Hoonigan is somebody that is just nuts. Just shredding tires, drifting, being that hooligan, you know.
Yeah, not giving a care, not really caring, just out there,
ain't no
causing
care.
trouble kind of thing.
Yeah.
Always get frowned upon for all the rubber that we leave behind and stuff like that, and the circuit cars have to come behind us, and they're like, oh, the rubber.
Just pure rock and roll.
It's more traction, right? Traction for the track. We're helping them. I think that, you know, with any sport, there is a small amount of hooniganism. There's always going to be like a small rebel within the sport, right? But with drifting, it's mainly the community that's like a hooniganism. Like, they all have the little bit of the hoon in them, if you will. They all have their own style. They all have their own way of being expressive, which I feel is the sense of hooniganism, right? It's being able to express yourself while looking like unique and very standout-ish, but still doing something that you love to do. Yeah.
Crazy with a touch of finesse.
Crazy with a touch of finesse. I like that.
The competitions, I find they're not hoonigans because we're not supposed to hit stuff. But when you get the Shannonville, like the top days, people just like to hit that wall, like just hit it with their bumper, and they just like, yeah, look at this damage in my car. That's freaking awesome. It's, yeah, man, that is awesome.
The drift charms, it's just more self-expression. I changed up to the little green guy. It just caught my eye because it's this crazy little green monster thing with old school 3D glasses. And he's just crazy looking. So when I painted my car that color, I just had to have it.
The whole car itself is a piece of who you are, but I mean, everything else kind of adds up, right? And the drift charm is just like that one little fun bit that you have. And I mean, it was originally thought of as like a good luck charm. There's so much expression and so much difference out there, and with the drifting, there's nothing that's too crazy or too calm or too collective or anything like that. It's you see one spectrum all the way to the other side of the spectrum. There's nothing that isn't in between.
I find your styles mostly when you're by yourself. When you're with somebody, that has to change, because if you're really aggressive and you're following somebody that's smooth, you can't transition aggressive behind the guy. You're going to hit him. So you have to kind of mimic what they're doing.
And the better that you can do that, the better you can be as a driver.
Miguel's a very aggressive driver. He really likes to throw that car and make it really known that he's drifting. Makes it a very standout, like in-your-face attitude when he's getting sideways, especially if he's on you and you see him behind you. It's kind of intimidating to have that guy get right up on you. I get nervous when I get in the car with you.
Yeah. I like to push it a lot. Jordan's got a very unique style, actually, to be quite honest. Jordan's very passive aggressive in the corners and stuff like that. Like he wants to go into the corner and he wants to come out of the corner, and he'll go and do it the best way that he thinks possible to make sure that he makes it everywhere else. He calculates things, he puts it all in his head, and he tries to put it into the car to make it as fluid as possible. So I guess Jordan's more of like a smooth kind of driver. Brent's actually really cool to watch. He's really strong. He's been drifting for a few years, and it shows in his driving. He attacks the corner as fast as he can so that he can come up to that corner and come out fast, come out hard, but he's still very smooth in his transitions, and he knows how to make it look good while he's going aggressive. Unfortunately, that aggressiveness in him and that speed has also led him to kind of stray off the path a little bit and hit walls and barriers and stuff like that you know everyone kind of tries to avoid, but Brent just doesn't have, like, he's got a carefree attitude.
He ain't care.
He does not care. He goes in as hard as he can. He goes as smooth as he can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but when it works, it is nice to watch. It is really fun to watch Brent drive.
I was into drifting before I could even drive. Like, I saw it, I think on the internet, I saw some guys sliding their cars in Japan on the mountains. I'm like, that is so freaking cool. How do you do that?
Obviously, if you're going to looking into getting into drifting, you know what drifting's about. You've seen it, you like it, because nobody gets into drifting without watching it. You think, okay, this is really cool, I want to try that. So you obviously have that common knowledge of what they're doing. You just need to know how to do that.
Do the necessary mods, like a seat. I find is very important, that holds you there. Welded differential or a limited slip differential, good suspension. That's basically what you need. The best way is just to do it. So go to the track with your friends and just do it. Because there's no way to learn by like a class. There are no classes to do it.
Eventually you'll learn what the car can do, and then you'll have a common, like, your own knowledge of what you can do with the car.
Once you're good enough to try to compete, the best way is to kind of jump into CSCS. It's an amateur series. Anybody can do it. It's not that expensive. And once you get the feel for competition, which is a huge difference from just an open day. Once you get in that seat and you need to put down a qualifying run, your heart gets going, you get that nerves, and you mess up. Even if you've done that line 100 times, you're gonna mess up because you're so nervous.
CSCS is the first platform, I feel, where they basically give you the guidelines that you need in order to move on to the professional leagues, with the sense of they give you the tandeming, they give you the scheduling, they give you the feeling of the qualifying, which is, to me, is the biggest, like the most adrenaline pumping moment of it all.
After that, once the car is where it needs to be, because there are certain specifications, you can move to DMCC. That's the Canadian professional series. And then the premier professional series is actually in the States. It's Formula Drift, and that's where the best drivers in the world go. Obviously with drifting, you go through a lot of tires. And some people either have financing from outside sources like sponsors, or they have to pay for themselves.
Or dumpster dive.
But what we do is we've gone to the dealerships and tire shops and said, hey, your pile of junk tires back here that you're throwing out, do you mind if I go through them? I'm not using the cell, I'm not putting them on my car to go on the street, I just need to burn them on the track. So we go through them, pick out the right sizes, stuff that isn't completely shredded. So it doesn't really cost us anything for the tires. We invested in a tire machine so we could change our tires, but by doing that, we're not getting consistent tires. So I could get one set of Falcons. Like, I found some Falcons that were awesome. They smoked great, they had so much grip. The next tires, they were hard, they were slick, they wouldn't grip, so I wouldn't get that speed. So it really throws you off.
Newer tires last a lot longer because the compound's still fresh. Like, a lot of times what happens with us is because we're using used tires, they've been sitting around for God knows how long, they'll delaminate before the tread actually disappears off the tire. So what happens is they'll start chunking off, and then the tire starts slapping your fender well, and it causes a lot of damage.
Oh yeah,
actually.
Oh god, yeah, that's all the damage.
But with the new tires, they don't do that. It goes all the way to the very bottom of the tire. You use everything, right down to the cords. So that, in that sense, it lasts a lot longer, and there's more tread there because you're not buying used tires, so there's more of a life to go through. So it's almost like it's almost
good,
worth the money.
Yeah.
I mean, for competition setting,
one or two.
you could use, like, it would be phenomenal because you could have that one pair of tires, and that would last you, guaranteed it would last you the whole, well, depending on how much horsepower you have.
Yeah.
For our series, it would last you the whole event. Like, you practice and you can learn the tires, then you can go into qualifying and you already know what the tire is going to do. And even if you need to switch the tire, you know the way the tire is. It's consistent, and it's amazing. And we haven't done that yet because we're in an extreme budget.
I found for myself, I was
an Integra guy.
No, I was not an Integra guy. I just happened to have an Integra. But I was debating between two cars, either an S chassis or the FD, so an RX-7. RX-7s, you have to invest a lot of money. The rotaries, I find, are expensive to run, they break a lot, and the SR is a great engine to start off with, so that's why I kind of went with the 180.
I went with the 180 because I wanted a good, strong car, a good chassis that I could build off of, but I didn't actually buy the 180 to be a drift car. I bought it as like a pride car, like as a showy kind of car. So I kind of built it up, and I put all these mods into it to make it show-worthy, so I could show it off at CSCS at the car show. And then he came to me, he's like, you're stupid, you spent all this money on this car to make it driftable, and you're just parking it in a parking lot and showing it off. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. Like, I put all this money into the car and I'm getting nothing out of it. So I was just like, finally, whatever, I'm gonna drift it, I'm gonna do this. I've been doing a lot of years of drifting with CSCS. I think I did 3 years, and I wasn't getting noticed, and I was driving hard, trying my best, and just nothing was happening for me. So I figured maybe the best thing that I could do is stand out and try and be different. Actually, Joel and Ryan at JFP said that they wanted me to build a cop car to help support them, and they would give me lights and stuff like that. I thought that was a great idea. Oh my God, why didn't I think of this sooner? So I put everything together, and unfortunately though, all my hard work and stuff has really paid off. A lot of people really like it. I figured it could either go one way or another, where people could either really like it or people could hate me because
well, let's face it, a lot of the tuners have issues with the police, right? So I figured to maybe make light of the situation as well. DAPD came out with, well, we have Drifters Anonymous, right? So Drifters Anonymous Police Department. Like I was thinking like I could make like OPP, and I was like, okay, DPD. It's like, I don't know what to think. But fortunately my girlfriend actually was like, well, you know, LAPD, why don't you do like DAPD? I'm like, you are a genius. I'm gonna do that.
Nobody wants to put their name on a rust bucket. Like that's why I painted my car a bright flashy color. If you see a bright green car going sideways around a corner, rather than seeing a white car or just a plain black car, they just pop.
If I didn't have drifting, I don't know what I would do. It gives me a lot of feeling of having a purpose, of having something to do other than just go to work at 9 to 5, come home and eat and sleep.
Drifting itself has only been in North America for about 10 years or so. So it is still very fresh over here, and it is picking up huge momentum. There's always new guys at the track.
Oh yeah.
Like for the people that are against it, I think is just get them to an event, strap them in the passenger seat, and show them how awesome it is.
Drifting will never lose its charm, I think. It's extremely show-orientated, right? Drifting has always been a spectator sport.
Why I think it's going to continue to pick up momentum is because you can do drifting. Like a kid can buy a car and he can do drifting. Formula One, I can't go do Formula One tomorrow or the next race. You have to have that license, you have to be able to do that, but you can drift.